We'll get back to the review in just a moment. I want to take a minute to ask you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about history, books on history, military history. I even post some of my lectures for my classes on there. Please check that out. Please subscribe to that channel. And now, back to the review. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Discriminating Gamer. You know, I had a dream last night that disco was coming back. At first, I was afraid. I was petrified. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do something a little bit different here. Ray and I just finished Justice League Dark with the expansion in. We played it. We played it last night. Yeah, he loves the jokes. We played it last night. We're playing it again tonight, and we just kind of thought we'd go ahead. We do our thoughts about it right now. So just very quickly, we'll go over some of the basic rules and ideas here. Let me just say this was a Kickstarter. I purchased this as part of the Kickstarter they did here recently. And the basic things, if you're familiar with the DC Comic deck builder game, very simple deck building game. What's different here is for the kind of the base of the Justice League Dark is you can, first of all, you've got these surge cards, and there's different surges where you can actually place cards from the main deck and add more stuff kind of to the row that you can purchase from. But you can also, you seal cards. Essentially, you have these tokens where some cards allow you to seal things, and you can actually put them in the sealed pile, but the game allows you to interact with sealed cards in an interesting way. You also have transform cards. Some cards you have that you play, and under certain conditions, you'll put them into the sealed deck, and then you can actually, from up here, get kind of its transformed ability. This is with villains, heroes, and equipment can do that as well. Yeah, and some of the starters, yeah. We've also got, let's see, some of the cards have blue banners on them, meaning when you kind of move them, seal them, destroy them, discard them, certain effects will trigger as well. I think those are the basics from the game. Do you remember any of the other major issues?
No, I think that's basically it.
And then with the expansion that's included with it, there's not a whole lot different, except you can, in the base game, you're fighting villains, your heroes fighting villains. In the expansion, you can also do it with oversized villain cards fighting heroes. You can mix and match, but that's basically the idea. But one critical thing is your weakness cards are a little bit different. In the expansion, the weakness cards are cursed weakness cards. They have all sorts of different effects. Some of them are positive. Some of them give you advantages. They give you draw a card or power one. But they
negative victory points.
They give you usually there's bigger victory points. There's a trade-off there. A few other little bells and whistles, but that's basically what's different about this game. So I'll just ask you right off the bat, Ray, what are your thoughts of Justice League Dark?
So as far as this goes compared to the regular, there's two main things that I really like about this. I really love these transform abilities. I think the transform abilities really kind of help with the game because your deck's constantly changing.
Yeah,
you're moving stuff from the sealed back and forth. Some of the cards, they won't transform unless you actually get rid of, or you have enough like heroes or villains in the deck or in your sealed pile. So for example, you're just going to keep playing the basic card until you have like, say, 5 sealed heroes or 5 sealed villains. And then that card is going to go away and you're going to get its transform special ability, which is actually really cool. And the other thing I like too is a lot of the cards, when they seal, they're going to give you some special ability. In a lot of cases, you seal them and you get to do something else. So it really takes a basic game, adds a little more meat to it, but really no more complexity.
Yeah, no, I entirely agree. I don't, it's funny because initially when I kind of read through the rules, I'm always a little afraid when you take a simple game like this and you add new rules into it that it is going to be more complex. And this wasn't. This, I was reading the rules and I'm like, oh, is this going to work? It's going to work. But man, it is awesome.
It really is. I remember when we were setting it up last night and I was putting everything together. You were reading the rules as I was sorting all the cards out, and you're like, "Huh? I'm not really sure I understand this." And when we started playing after the first round, you're like, "Oh, I got it. Yeah. I see what they're talking about now. It's that easy."
Now there were, as is always the case with some of these DC Comics deck building games, and a lot of deck builder games in general, sometimes you'd read the cards and maybe there were few little things we stumbled over initially, just kind of interpreting the cards. But again, I'm pretty sure we got everything right in the end there. The blue banners initially kind of threw us a little bit exactly how they worked. But again, we're pretty confident with that toward the end of the game.
I think the blue banner was the main thing that kind of really threw us.
Yeah.
At first, because it's not yeah, it's I mean that card has to go, and when it leaves, when it gets discarded, when it gets sealed or whatever.
Right.
I think that was the main thing to really, but it's actually, it wasn't very hard once we actually started playing them and doing them.
Right.
It was simple.
And then I should point out too, with the in the expansion, they've got these. I'm not even sure how you pronounce this. The Lepsid Ersrick cards.
Esric?
These actually, Ersrick, I don't know. They let you get rid of your weaknesses, but again, it's a double-edged sword because some of those weaknesses give you uh, bonuses. Now, last night when we played, I won, but it was a pretty tight game, right?
It was like 7-point game.
Yeah, it was pretty tight. This game, you won, and it was, what was your score?
70.
70, and I was 57. And I had a ton of weakness cards, and Raven, Crazy Raven, she is a very powerful card. When you play her, you get 5 power, but you gain a weakness. And then also, too, she's got a -3 victory point on her. So she's a crazy powerful card, but she comes with some freaking bad consequences. However, I still think, even without these, you would have won, because that was one. Yeah, that was only 9. And I was, yeah, so you still would have won even without those. But
and I had no weaknesses at all at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Because I had one, and I was actually able to play this starter card. Because I like how they give you this starter card that does let you get rid of the weaknesses.
Yeah, I do too.
Right off the bat. So it's not like you start piling them up and you have 0 way to get rid of them. You always have at least 1 way of get rid of them, unless you seal that card, and well, then you're just not playing good.
Right. No, it's true.
Yeah.
And it was in this game tonight, I came out pretty strong. I took out most of the heroes right off the bat, and then you came in the end and got them. And you were going crazy. You got some abilities that you kept drawing cards and stuff like that at the end of your turn.
Oh yeah.
And so you had a pretty good engine going. It took you a while though to get your engine going.
I know.
But once you did, it was awesome.
I think my last round, I probably played almost 10 cards. I had 20 points? No, 23 points. I had 23 purchase power, which was ridiculous in this game.
That was
But yeah,
pretty cool.
I had so much. It took me, and I really thought you were going to run away with this game. Because you were just sealing cards like crazy. You had points like crazy. I was nothing, and then all of a sudden, halfway through the game, all my decks started just really clicking, and yeah, my engine kicked in, and it just started running, and it just went to town.
For me, any good deck builder, and one of the things I absolutely love about DC Comics deck building game is, like we were talking about, the combos. When you get those combos just humming, to me, that's the most fun part of a game, of a deck building game, and this does it so well with the transform cards, with the sealed abilities. This is a game where when you're playing it, you get those combos, you can build, and have a heck of a lot of fun. So we just played these 2-player games. I think maybe this might be fun with 3 or 4. I don't know if I'd want to do with 5, because there can be some downtime, and of course AP is always a thing when you're trying to buy cards. But yeah, I'd be willing to play it with, a somewhat higher player count. But I enjoyed it with 2. I thought it was a lot of fun with 2 there.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I thought it was great, and you know what? And honestly, our turns weren't really that long. There at the end, it got a little bit longer because you had to make sure you played some of your cards in a certain order and which cards you want to play. And like I had like 3 locations, multiple locations out. That those locations let me do different things based on the card. So. I
didn't get any of the location cards. We had that one location card that was out there forever that neither of us got. That just didn't look that great. But you were piling up on locations. I didn't get any, and I think that hurt me too in the game.
Yeah, I had some cards. Well, I had a superpower card that every location I had in play gave me additional power. So I think at the end of the game, that was like a 6-power card.
Okay. Now, I want to do something a little bit different. Normally, I do the buy it, try it before you buy it. Where we're doing this together, let's go ahead and let's do a rating. 1 to 10, how fun do you think this game is? Factor in maybe how likely you're willing to play it again. You think value of the game, all that good stuff. For me, fun is always the most important thing. Scale of 1 to 10. Feel free to use points, 0.5 or whatever. How would you rate DC Comics deck building game Justice League Dark?
Justice League Dark, so DC Comics game, I have about an 8 on my schedule. It's because it's one of those games where I always have fun playing it.
Yeah.
And I can teach it to anybody.
Yeah.
It's so simple to play. Justice League Dark actually jumps this to about an 8.5, almost about a 9, almost.
Really?
Because I mean these transform abilities and the way they're doing that seal deck, and the fact that I can now switch it up. I can play superheroes. I can play against villains. I can play against anything else. These cursed weakness cards. I mean, even though I didn't get any, they're so powerful and they're so awesome. And you have to. Do I want to get them? and then when it starts coming down or where there's one guy left, it's like, oh my gosh, I need to get these negative points out of my deck or I'm just in trouble.
Right.
And can you do it in time? It's it's a simple game, but man, I really like this game.
All right. So we're doing 8.5 for you, right?
I'll do an 8.5 on that.
For me, so like whenever I give a buy it recommendation, it's got to be at least a 7. And most of the games I play usually hit that. Not all of them, but I'd say most of them usually hit a 7. And that's, again, I'm not going to get, most of that is games I've requested and stuff like that, and games I typically am drawn to. Anyway, this one, I'm torn, because it's at least an 8 for me, which for me is really good. I don't give out a whole lot of 8s. I'm going to say 8. I like it a lot. I don't know if I quite can go to 8.5, but I think it's a solid 8. I really like it a lot. One, the different DC Comics games, some of them I really like a lot, some of them not so much. This is definitely one of the better ones, I think. I like. And I mean, I like them all, but to greater or lesser degree, this is one of the better ones. So.
And other than the base game, this is the only extra version I've played.
Oh, really? Is it?
Yeah, I've never played any of the expansions. All I have is just the core base game. That's it.
Confrontations is great because it's a team game, and I really like Confrontations. Yep. That was a lot of fun. And Heroes Unite was really good. Yep. Maybe I should rank them at some point.
I've really looked at getting a few of them a few times, but yeah, I mean, so I'm basing this off just the regular game.
Yeah.
And I mean, this just propels it.
It does. It takes to another level.
I would actually never want to play the base game again after playing
really?
this one.
Really? You think so?
Yeah.
What? Let me ask. Is this something you'd consider purchasing yourself? Or?
Oh, I would replace mine for this one.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm glad I got it. Of course, I've got the big super box that I got, the multi-movieverse box that I got to start adding this one into. But yeah, really like it. All right, so that is our review. We got an 8.5 and 8. I think we're very positive for this game, and it's something you should check out if you like the DC Comics deck building game. And even if you're not familiar with the DC Comics deck building game, I think you could probably jump right in with this one. I don't think there's a terrible bar to learning it. So that's our recommendation here at The Discriminating Gamer. As always, like us on Facebook, leave a comment, tell us what you think, all of that good stuff. Make sure you check out my other channel, Cody Carlson, PhD. And if you like what we've done here, go ahead and leave a tip. I recently heard that NASA is sending a spaceship into space to, say sorry to all the aliens out there. It's called the Apollo G.
Damn straight.